been to Brikama. Young girls, young boys, they're going to school, they're learning. You have good secondary schools. I visit the one in Farafenni, and I visit the school in Basse. Just the best of the next generation getting a good education. It fills me with optimism for this country.
The U.S. top diplomat will follow on the footsteps of Pamela Ann White, who has been hailed for her efforts at promoting relations between Banjul and Washington. Aissatou Badiansar, GRTS.
Former Gambian footballer Dudu Loum Monday afternoon met with the Vice President and Minister of Women's Affairs, Dr. Aissatou Saidi. Loum, who is now based in Sweden, said he is interested in the development of Gambian football and in the process wants to collaborate with the Youth and Sports Ministry in a bid to complement government in developing football in the Gambia. Mama J reports.
Is a Gambian based in Sweden where he coached and scouted for potential young Gambian football players. Mr. Loum, a former member of the National Scorpion team, played for the Gambia for about 10 years. He spoke to GRTS shortly after meeting with Vice President Dr. Aissatou Saidi.
My purpose for this visit was to come back home and with ideas that I get from Sweden. This past year has been playing football. Currently, I'm working as a coach and scout for a football agency in Sweden. So there have been so many ideas that I get from Sweden and with my counterparts in Sweden. So we come back here to try to talk to the Gambian government and make sure that we can have some kind of what is it called again? Work together anyway. See if we could try to help the Gambian youths, Gambian football players here, especially, and for the development of Gambian football anyway.
Dudu, who is in the country on holidays, said he is here to make a difference in Gambian soccer.
The intention is like getting the experience and ideas I have there, and I have people here. I'm working in Sweden, you could call them very experienced, and they know the game very well. To try to bring them here, work with them together and see where will lead us.
It could be noted that the national football team, the Scorpions, is constrained with many challenges in terms of performance, and nurturing the young minds and talents will go a long way in developing the game. However, it is believed that Gambians should put up whatever they have in the area of football in an effort to further develop the world's #1 sports in this young footballing nation. Mama J, GRTS.
After spending over a month in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Gambian pilgrims numbering over 1,300 are finally home after taking part in this year's Hajj process. GRTS's Alhaji Abukar Dabo was embedded with the Hajj team, and he now reports on the details of the 2012 Holy Journey.
Life in the holy cities of Mecca and Medina is an incredible experience that cannot be found anywhere, perfectly blending life and worship for pilgrims, most of whom are traveling abroad for the first time. Hajj is a sacred Islamic undertaking, and officials mandated to oversee its smooth process have not lost sight of this.
We will continue to do our level best, to give our pilgrims maximum satisfaction. Although Hajj is an activity where 100% success and satisfaction cannot be guaranteed.
Last year we had few problems, and this year we had fewer problems. The government in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, the custodian of two holy mosques, they have ensured that every year they have put at a disposal of pilgrims facilities that makes their Hajj, their pilgrimage, more conducive and easier.
Our expectation on the arrangements of Hajj, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, if it is 100, we think 95 is achieved. Because arrangements are houses in Medina, everything was okay, Alhamdulillah. And housing in Mecca also, everybody was housed and everybody was accommodated in hotels. In Mina, you see it yourself, everybody is happy. In Arafat also.
Pilgrims landed at Al-Medina International Airport with great enthusiasm, and from the Holy Prophet's Mosque, where they performed the traditional 40 prayers, to Mecca, where the Hajj took place, the men and women numbering over 1,300 performed all the major and minor rites of Hajj in a hitch-free manner, with the organization simply perfect.
To be honest, quite honest, I'm really surprised with the things I have seen here and the reaction of the organizers and the way and manner in which they have been able to operate. I would not have been able to do it myself. So I must give them 100% credit for it.
Why?
Because there are things that happen impromptu. I get confused, I don't know what to expect, and I see everything coming normal in a couple of minutes. And you know, it's not easy to organize people that have not traveled before, that are not educated. It's not easy. So, and if you have it with other people going together, then you have a big task, and I have learned it firsthand.
Some of us had the opportunity to go further down to help our people in cashing their money or getting their money from Western Union, distance 3 kilometers behind us. Surprisingly, when we went there, we found Nigerians, Pakistans, and some Indians locating or resident there or staying there, meaning that, 3 kilometers behind us, there were people, pilgrims staying there. So our distance, though we were calling it a difficult one, if you compare it to those ones, we should say Alhamdulillah.
A project big as Hajj for a whole nation can hardly go without shortfalls, but officials of the National Career, GIA, and the Hajj Commission showed no complacency in terms of doing enough and also engaging Hajj authorities in Saudi to ensure every year improvement.
We have to thank GIA for a wonderful job done. For me, I don't praise. I don't praise for nothing. I don't look at people's eyes and praise. I praise for reality. What I see is exactly what I am talking about. Yes, here and there are problems that one can encounter in any organization, but they cannot be 100%. They must have some shortfalls here and there. But the overall, I would give them 80%, 80 to 90%.
Other countries, they have this SOB thing in place. I think GIA, we have seen it, and we will try to address it. And either, if it is not SOB complete, we'll try and do something that is going to be an identification. By looking at somebody, you know that this person is from the Gambia. I think that is important. The other question that you asked that has to do with sensitization before we come. I think we have something on our program that we will try and decentralize it. We've been thinking about this these past years, but it's not possible. I think it is time for us to decentralize the issue of sensitization or Hajj practical.
The Hajj for the year 2012 is now over, and the country's new breed of Ajaratus and Alajis have arrived home faster than expected. If there's anything to remind the pilgrims, it is to maintain their high sense of duty to religion and country and continue invoking Allah's infinite mercy, blessing and protection for the country and its people. Alhaji Abubakar Dabo, GRTS.
The West African Institute for Finance and Economic Management, WIFM, has kick-started a 2-week-long training on computable general equilibrium modeling for 30 participants drawn from WIFM member countries. The training is expected to focus on best tools to analyze microeconomic impacts and macroeconomic policies in relation to trade policies and poverty. Aji Amisisi was there and she now reports.
General equilibrium modeling, one of the most rigorous methods to evaluate the impact of economic and policy shocks. The West African Institute for Finance and Economic Management has shifted attention to the CEG, taking a closer look at microfinance impacts of macroeconomic policies as it provides an economy-wide assessment of policies and a framework in which the weight of those policies are simplified for better understanding.
I've been informed that the main objective of the workshop is to train the participants on how to build and use CGE modeling, to undertake policy impact assessment and scenario analysis, and to apply it to issues related to economic partnership agreements, the EPA. I am also told that the workshop will introduce all the fundamental tools for constructing and implementing multi-sector applied general equilibrium models for policy analysis, and that participants by the end of the course will have acquired detailed knowledge of an extensive hands-on exercise in building open economic general equilibrium models using the software GAMS.
As way from development